we should come through. Hello, everyone. I think you can hear us now. I am here with the amazing Jess Rothschild from her podcast, Hot Takes and Deep Dives. And Jess also used to be a writer for Order Straddle. So she is here to answer questions, discuss the episode.
For you Bethany and Housewives fans out there, I'm here to mention it all. If anybody gets that reference. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, I love you. I was so excited when you like invited me on. Like, it's rare that I get the opportunity. I mean, I do L words. There are, like, you know, in podcasting, you know, there are certain strands that like you tend to like pull on, you know, like repeated things that you'll pepper in like throughout in unlikely places, and the L word certainly is one of those. But you know, my podcast like started as like a Bravo Housewives podcast and has now evolved into like a queer pop culture podcast, you know. And so this is I love having a platform where I can really sink my teeth.
Yeah, all the L word people are here.
Yeah. Oh my god, everyone's so nice. Hi, everybody.
I know. I feel as though once it's literally like a tidal wave. Like, when the season ends, everybody disappears, and then there's still like the really, really loyal people that are still like getting excited for next season. And it's a hard few months of winter, but then it's like filming starts and you start to see more people. But literally when the first episode comes out, it's like a tsunami of just people coming in for, and it always peaks around episode like 5, 6, 7.
Well, yeah, because then all the storylines are like rocking and rolling, and then there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have to ask you. Oh God, I mean, like, I feel like we like even need an agenda. Like, we have to talk about the Jennifer Beals and Eileen like conversation.
Oh yes.
We got to talk about that because there are a few things. So there were a few headlines out of that I noticed, and more so observations, and also do all of these people in the chat and do your viewers know about Jennifer? Like, that basically Jennifer Beals has left the show.
The people in the chat are like my loyalist people. I have been open about saying for like the past basically since we spoke, like the first time. I did a video probably like 3 days before that where I said, listen guys, I think she's leaving the show. She's in 4 episodes. My super loyal people believe me, but there's the people that you only look at their social media, even though there's a picture of me on the fucking set, but you know what I mean? So you're another backup of the evidence.
I mean, I wonder when they're going to announce that. Why do they even release the episode a day early?
They do that because, I mean, this is what people who specifically work at Showtime, don't work at the show, told me, is that the L Word is a super expensive show to make, and the only one of the main reasons it got a season 3 is because of stuff like this, because it is so popular on social media, and they will release their most popular shows a day early. They've done it with a couple of other shows that are L Wordish style. And so they did do it for season 1 and season 2, but I also when I was told about Jennifer being in 4 episodes and going after season 3, they did say to me that there should be a press release after episode 2, but I don't know that for a fact. I would assume, because
I would assume so too.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, like that was okay. I mean, I'll bring it into that conversation with Eileen, Jennifer, and Kara Swisher, who's amazing, by the way. I've been a fan of hers like forever. Jennifer kind of like intimated like this show could go on, but she did kind of make it. I mean, she's like, this has been the ride of a lifetime. Listen, she could have said that when the first show ended. She could have said that at any point, but I think they obviously have to. If the show gets picked up, they're going to do another season.
Oh yeah.
And I think people like Kate and Leisha, especially listening to this past episode of Pans, which I can't even believe I listened to. This is perhaps the worst pod as a podcaster. I'm sorry. Like, this is the worst podcast ever created.
Listen, I defend everything, but I will not defend that.
And they know it too. That's what's so funny. They know it's awful too. They're like, I can't believe anybody's listening to this.
But it could be so good. Like, if they, I know, but the thing is, they don't want to rewatch. If they rewatch The L Word and did it like Office Ladies, where they like,
well, they did the first 2 seasons, and it became so clear. Eventually, they realized that, like, oh, this is actually a bad show. Like, they didn't want to do it anymore.
But because actually, like, not to be like, this is all about me, but I gave them that idea. Like, when they started the podcast, and they wrote back and said, like, yeah, we're going to do this. I said, you should, but I said, do it like Office Ladies. They're 2 best friends who were on a show, but the difference is they really love the show. And they don't tell you what happened because we've seen the episode. They tell you, like, behind the scenes and, like, how much they paid to license Kelly Clarkson's song and, like, interesting stuff.
Here's the thing. When it comes to recapping, and I am not a recapper. That is a job I would never want. I don't know. Frankly, I don't even know how people do it. It just seems so tedious and boring to do. What is interesting is the behind the scenes stuff. And what Kate and Leisha, they were just recapping plot. Like, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And they seem to be very afraid to, like, they keep alluding to, like, oh, if we could really, here, I'll throw in a bit of tea here. First bit of tea for the listeners. So, because I know so much random shit.
We've got lots.
I don't think people know. So, okay, at the L Word viewing party, my 2 friends host this podcast called Diking Out. And they were the 2 who hosted the L Word watch parties at Henrietta Hudson when Kate and Leisha came through, when Seppi and Ari came through. And I was there both of those nights because literally one of these girls is one of my best friends. She's like, they're coming. So, like, obviously, like, I'm showing up. And I was there at some point. So afterward, my friend was like, Kate told me that she hooked up with Mia Kirshner.
I heard this.
You heard this?
I
she
heard
told this directly to my friend, like as a joke. They were kind of like, you slept with they're like, yeah, you slept with everyone. It was starting out as a bit, and then they're like, oh, you didn't sleep with her, and she's like, like. So I guess somebody overheard that.
Yeah.
That is hilarious because that's something that people. When my friend told, I'm like, are you serious?
Sometimes people just come to my DMs and they'll be like, hey. I think that they're just like, I don't know. It's so funny. I love it because sometimes someone that doesn't I don't think they even watch the L Word just comes in like, hey, I was in da-da-da today and I saw the L Word filming and I heard you're the L Word woman.
I love it. And also, I told you this privately, but it was also at that same watch party because it was in a very small space. Like they came inside and it was small, particularly in the inside. And I remember the two of them were sitting right with my friends, and when Gigi and Danny come on screen and they go, one of them said, I think it was Leisha said, why does everybody love Gigi? And
because we all have fucking eyes.
And your response was hilarious. You're like, do you not have eyes? And it's like, I think this is actually emblematic of a systemic problem throughout the L Word since the beginning. Is they never understand when they have a good thing. Yeah. Somehow they figured it out with Bette and Tina. Somehow, like, the news got to them that people like Bette and Tina, but they sing, like, even in listening to that interview yesterday with Eileen Chaikin, she's like, we want to keep telling good stories. Girl, we don't like the stories. We've been so vocal how bad these stories are. Nobody wants stories. We like it because of the casting the chemistry and the magic that can happen. It's tension. Like if you ask somebody, what does chemistry mean? It is when attraction meets banter. That is what chemistry is. So you need dialogue that is written well, that matches a certain tension that is building between the two people in a scene. Very hard to do with men.
Yeah.
Very hard to do with men, because I watched Queer as Folk, since I'm a huge Queer as Folk fan, and I watched the reboot. And I don't know, were you a Queer as Folk fan?
Not really. It's a little bit, because the L Word, I was like 16 when that came out, so it was a little bit too older for me.
Yeah. But it's just so fun. Like they even said on Pants this week, they're like, yeah, the writers had to throw Gigi and Danny together. They had no idea that was going to be a thing, that the audience was going to respond to that. And then they, of course, found a way to ruin that. I mean, I don't know how much we can say here, but oh my God, it's just.
Oh, you mean the segregated Gigi in episode 1? Because I was like,
that was crazy. She had like 2 minutes of screen time.
She was on set for one day.
All of her scenes on one day. Because for listeners, commenters, I love. Oh, you're asking. Oh, what was Laura like? I'll tell you I can answer some of these. Did you? I'm gonna get distracted by this chat. I need to not pay attention. but I'm gonna catch up and then answer the questions.
We'll definitely talk about Jennifer and Laurel.
What the hell was I saying?
Oh, about segregated Seppi filming in one day.
Oh, I mean, okay, so I've seen episode 2. I'd seen the first 2 episodes about a month ago. That was when I first got in touch with you. It was like, I'm going to die if I can't talk about this. And I was convinced, because I'd been watching your videos. I'm like, this bitch knows something. But you merely just like somebody showed you scripts.
Yeah.
How did you have that? Because you've been saying something else that I was like, she could only be saying this if she had seen the episodes, which is you're like, oh, they're recreating that meeting. You read the script.
I mean, I didn't read the entire thing.
Episode, somebody either told you that. I mean, I hate to interrogate you on your own program here.
No, go. Basically, I got like a va-va-voom of, this is the of course, like I'm, as people who like to criticize them say, I'm biased. I'm a biased L Word journalist, but which is not a thing. I only really care about like Bette and Tina, Danny and Gigi, blah blah blah. So when I heard about the Danny and Gigi thing, I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. And I basically was told like what's happening in the season, like overall. But then also the thing about like the gallery, like again, not being arrogant, I talk about the show hours and hours and hours every day. So I saw 1 second and I was like, oh, this is what they're going to do. But I basically didn't read everything word for word, but I know what's going to happen.
Oh, somebody's saying this. I have to go already. I can't rewatch this. I think you will.
No, yeah, it's gonna be this. I won't put behind the member thing. It'll be open for everyone to see. We may have to take it down at Showtime.
No. We're just talking. We're not doing anything. I want to say people were freaking out. People have been freaking out. I want to quell everybody's fears. They're not killing Gigi. I want to make that very clear to people. Gigi will be alive, just not on your TV. Just not on this show. She'll be on other shows. Seppi is booked and busy, but I just want people to know.
Yeah, that was actually before. So when I went to the set, I knew like vague stuff, and then they were really like trying to not say anything. But then I was like, but I already know what's happening, and there was some stuff that like there's no way they could, because I was there for 9 and 10, so there was no way they could hide what was going on. But they basically, I didn't know if Seppi was like gone, but then when we were in like the costume department, and they were like trying to hide some of the stuff that's super obvious for the finale, but you could see it. And then they took me in this room with all the season 2 stuff, and they were like, "Oh, this is like Laurel's wardrobe from last season and blah 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 blah." And then she's like, "And this is the corner where we have all the characters who've left, like Gigi." And I was like,
Wow. Wow.
and their faces were like, "Oh shit."
I mean,
But I did say after, I was like,
I mean,
"You're
if
not
they
killing
just,
her."
if Leisha and Kate, like, why can't they do a behind the scenes of the original L Word? Like, that stuff is like over a decade old. Like,
I
why can't we
know.
talk about this? Like,
I
what
know.
is so? I mean, when I interviewed Guinevere Turner, she was speaking free. I guess because they're still employed by Showtime. It would, they need
Probably
to be this
Mia.
in 10 years or next year, when this is like really like done,
Mhm.
they really should. I mean, things like a quick plug. If anybody in the chat who's in New York, this is actually very exciting. A friend of mine who used to host the L Word watch parties, a year ago, she wrote a play version of an L Word Christmas Carol. And they put it on at Stonewall, and I saw it, and it's hilarious. She casts
That's so
comedians as
cool.
the cast. One character plays all of Gen Q. It's like Gen Q is the character, and it's basically uh, it's a Christmas story. No, it's a Christmas Carol told through the lens of the L Word, and it's Bet's. You know, everyone from the dead comes back. Like it's Jenny, Kit, and Dana are the ghosts of
Oh my
past,
god, that's
present.
brilliant.
Now, here's what's exciting. So I've been telling, this is my friend Carolyn. Anybody who listens to Diking Out knows Carolyn with the pink hair. She's one of my best friends. I have been begging her since August, you should do this at Joe's Pub, which is a very popular venue here in New York. Not a gay place, but it's my favorite venue to see shows in New York. And this is going on. It's not even, tickets aren't even on sale, but if you're in New York, save the date. It's going to be December. I'm just looking at the cat. It's going to be Thursday, December 15th at 9:30. And she emailed Seppi yesterday to offer her the role of Bette.
Oh my god,
Offers are going
genius.
out. We brainstormed for hours. I'm like, Guinevere Turner, who, like, listen, Guinevere Turner and I we are the real life Bette and Tina. Like, I have been in love for over 20 years. Like, she doesn't know that I'm the one, but she's been in my apartment and loves my dog. So we emailed Gwen. You can play any part you want. I joked like she should play Jenny. That'd be really funny. She said she wrote back last night, I would have loved to do this, but she's directing something out of the country. So these are the types of people that we're trying to, I said, get an offer out. I said, invite Holland Taylor and Sarah Paulson,
Oh yeah,
who live in New York, to be in the audience. Just like comp them tickets. They would love it. So we're still brainstorming, but it's going to be tickets. This is not going to be an expensive ticket. It'll be on the Joe's Pub site, but just mark your calendar and keep checking the Joe's Pub site. Probably this weekend, or maybe even by the time we're doing this live, maybe it is even live on the site. But it is happening.
oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It is amazing. They should. Oh, in fact, they had emailed the script to Kate and Leisha to see if they would want to do their parts, and they're like, that may have there are a lot of things that are in flux. It may be all these, even if one of these crazy ideas comes through, that's a win.
Yeah.
But so everyone in New York, Joe's Pub, December 15th, and L Word Christmas Carol, it's on.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea. Yeah. Such a good idea.
And it is so goddamn funny.
Oh, I bet.
My friend who wrote it, it's brilliant. You should fly in for that.
I know. I was thinking that.
You guys see this? Got my Justice for Jenny Schechter mug.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's I mean, I guess the whole thing with them is they're still employed by Showtime because they did. I remember them talking about it once on the podcast a while ago now, and they basically were saying, "Oh, we could write a book about the behind the scenes," and it's like, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, even interesting stuff came out when Jennifer did the L Word photo book. There was some like
Mhm.
tea in there. I mean, I don't remember. I don't have a top of mind, but like, they're just come on, like this. I mean, what everyone. Okay, maybe Kate is gonna be like, yeah, I actually did date Clementine Ford. Like, we know this, but like, maybe some people don't know. Maybe this is just interesting to you and I. Like, I don't know.
It's because there's so little out there. Like I would say stuff in my video, like I've said stuff before, and I've been like, oh, I bet you like everybody's like, oh, she's fucking saying this again. But there's people that literally are like, I've never heard this. Like because as well, like there's a like my friend Celine's in the chat. She's like 24. You know, they weren't here when the original was on.
Oh
So
wow.
hearing things like Jennifer crying in the she bar thing was unscripted. People think that's cool and like interesting because there's nothing out there about behind the scenes or anything, and they even don't do anything now to promote the show or interviews, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that. Although actually I have some movement. There's been movement.
Oh, okay.
Um I don't want to I can't jinx it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you offline. Love the behind the scenes. I mean, what we can here I mean, I just want to know how this all got fucked up. That's my number one question. How do you drive your two you got two things going for you. Jennifer Beals and Seppi. And you lost them both within 2 episodes. How does that happen?
It's just it's bad, honestly. It's even if they could just keep one of them.
It's because here's why. It's such a shame because I actually do have empathy and understand Jennifer Beals. Even if there was no behind the scenes drama, I do understand Jennifer Beals even from a creative standpoint being like, okay, where is there this character left to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they could drag the Bette and Tina thing out and like end at the same point, right? They could drag it out 3 more years and still end with them getting married. Great. I'm a bad gay. I'm actually like not pro marriage. I have my own personal trauma, but
Don't we all?
um, I'm against gay marriage. But but I do think that Gigi and Danny could have been the new Bette and Tina.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because Seppi she was the only I'm going to put her in the grown-up category. I don't put Danny in the grown-up. To me, I look at Danny, I see a 25-year-old. I
Yeah.
see Gigi, I see a 35-year-old woman.
Yeah.
I don't look at Danny and see a woman. To me, it looks like there's a 10-year age difference. I don't know, but Ariane, Mandy
I
just
think
look.
there is.
Is it a 10-year age difference?
Maybe it's not 10, maybe it's 8, but I do think because Seppi's like my age, maybe a year or two older than me, and Danny is significantly younger than me because this is another little tea, not maybe not just a little sprinkle, is next. So episode 4, that person that I keep calling the ghost that is in all the white in Halloween that Danny's with, that character actually went to school with Danny, and they do this whole sing the Spice Girls wannabe. So
Okay.
they must be like a little bit younger than me because if that was out in middle school for them, they're a bit younger. And originally they were going to have Demi Lovato play that character. And it went as far as getting like in the notes, getting like, because they're going to sing wannabe. So they were like, do we need to get some sort of clearance for Demi Lovato to sing wannabe? So it was quite. I don't know what happened, but probably more drama.
But Demi Lovato, she couldn't do it for whatever
I don't
reason.
know whether it was like she couldn't do it or she pulled out, but
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
yeah, it was pretty far down the road. Like it's still in some of the notes.
Wow. The reason why I feel so strongly about Seppi and Arian Mandy gets to like kind of ride the coattails. And yes, I give them the credit for it. Like they're the ones that have the chemistry. So like that's not writing, although their stuff was the only well written stuff of the quote unquote Gen Q kids, whatever. We'll file them under that.
Oh, it is 10 years. Thanks, Rosanna. She's a bit older than me, 37, and Ari's 27.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. But okay. So I think even that is interesting. Like they're talking about Gen Q. If you look at like, okay, we're creating a new show to tell new quote unquote stories of the new generation. This could have been the Hinge couple where it's interesting that Gigi has kids from a previous marriage and now you have this younger person and this could have been the will they won't they
Oh
that could
yeah.
have lasted because people are invested because they've got the tension, the chemistry, the casting is right with Seppi. And yeah, I mean, I feel like Seppi kind of has chemistry with everyone.
Every person on the planet.
But she's just an amazing asset.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not really getting to the point. The point is like, I feel like the Gen Q of it all could have lived on if you had that couple. If Bette and Tina are going to like graduate, which like at a certain point they do, to me, it's a miracle that they even got Laurel Holloman back for that.
Oh, a fucking miracle.
Mountains must
miracle.
have been moved.
They got her back, and that this episode happened is a fucking miracle. Everything I know about the show behind the scenes, it's a fucking miracle. We should all be
but it seems like she and Jennifer Beals, I mean, Jennifer Beals made this happen.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. 100%.
And she was saying, anybody who hasn't watched the frame line, the Jennifer Beals, Eileen Chaikin, and Kara Swisher did a talk in the Castro in San Francisco last night, and she talks about how she always, they knew what I wanted for Bette. Like in terms of like we'll talk about just like the romantic storylines. She said, like Marcia was well aware of what I wanted, but like you can do whatever you want. And so I think she was pushing for that. And I think like she was going to be the only one to get Laurel Holloman back.
Everybody, I'm as truthful as I can, as I always will be. And we wouldn't have got this if Jennifer Beals played her last card to get this. Like she did it, because if she wasn't going, I don't like, if she said, oh, I'll go at season 5, they would have dragged this out till season 5. Like she said, I'm going, so you need to do this, because otherwise there'll be a fucking riot.
Well, I think ultimately it just wouldn't have been, well, then what was the point?
Yeah.
Like the Gen Q of it all has done nothing. It's contributed nothing new to the conversation, aside from the Seppi and Gigi stuff, which they exploded already. And even that was relatively short-lived. None of that was going on in season 1. Like I feel like they totally miscast, with the exception of who plays Angie, the young girl?
Jordan Hull.
She was perfectly cast, and Seppi was perfectly cast. Jacqueline Tobani is good and embodies a Finley type. I get it. I don't want it, but I get it. They really should. I just feel like they were banking on these 2 leads, maybe with Rosani and Ariane Mandy, and they just got people who can't act. Like these people they're not stars. You need stars. You can't even use the excuse, like if you go back to the original, you can be like, oh, they don't have a lot of experience. Guess what? In the original, Kate, they had very minimal experience. This was Leisha Haley. Sorry, my dog is entering the frame now.
Oh yeah,
This is
oh, so cute, so cute.
baby. Like Kate and Leisha and Erin Daniels, they did not have a lot of experience. Kate had never acted, but like they all had like small little things.
But they just have that like Leisha has that comedic like you cannot teach that. Like and the other stuff, the other thing is people also forget this, I think, a lot of the time, because again, like I'm just like I talk about the show hours a day, and if you go back to season 1, it really wasn't about them. Like it was Bette, Tina, Jenny, and Marina, and all of them, you know, just despite what happened with Karina Lombard, which is even more drama, they're all like Mia Kirshner. Yeah, okay, she's quite wild, but great actor. And they like Leisha and Kate, they always say like, oh, we're the Greek chorus in the beginning, because they were getting their sorry, their experience and getting in there, and then as they proved themselves, they built out their characters. But
and they started writing to the actors' strengths.
Oh yes, 100%.
These people had such dynamic personalities. I mean, the cast, you know, finding a Kate Menig and even Alicia Haley, like even if you just take those two, they're stars. Yeah. They are. Something happens when the camera goes on them. They love the cat. I just feel like the camera loves them. And Leisha Haley in particular is a brilliant improviser. And I think so much of her stuff is improvised. That's the other thing. Mia Kirshner, a lot of her stuff was improvised, and it just had a certain magic that was able to overcome the quote unquote. Name a great storyline that they're so proud of. In the original. No, let's actually do this. Let's do this exercise. People in the chat, put in a quote unquote storyline.
The only one that I really enjoy, just because it does show a little bit of the shit show behind the scene. Now I appreciate it more as someone who knows, is the Les Girls thing, because it's such a mess.
Okay. I actually, season 5, I will go to the grave saying it is one of the most brilliant seasons of television. They somehow figured it out.
It's season 5.
It's season 5. Season. But also season 4 was great. 4 and 5 are the best seasons, hands down. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I love Dana as much as the next person, but they got, you know what? Actually, all of Bette's storylines were great. They figured it out with Bette, but like other stuff wasn't really clicking. The original. Yeah, the original name. And I thought the stuff with Holland Taylor was great. The stuff with when Jane Lynch started dating Sybil Shepherd.
That was brilliant.
That was great. The storyline started to get better as it went on.
Yeah, like season 3 was like a dumpster fire.
Tasha was great.
But
season 5 and 3 the best.
I hate 3. I hate 3 so much. I think it's awful.
I actually felt with the exception of season 6, it all got better as it went along. Like it got smoother. But the Shane and the brother, that was good. But Shane ultimately kind of went nowhere. If you look at the arc of that character, like where did we land?
Yeah, it's very similar, like rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I'm giving props to Shane and her brother. I agree with you. I did enjoy that. Oh, what was the deal with Kate and Christiana Loken? Did they hate each other? There was some drama.
Christiana Loken fucking hated everyone.
There was drama there. But they also had really good chemistry.
She asked to be, maybe it's the hate people. She asked to be written out of the show. I I mean, I'm sure they were going to be done with Paige soon anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, she has to be written out, and then someone else. But I mean, with Alicia and Kate too, the other thing that like is really great about them is the fact like they are actually best friends. So it's just so, I don't know, like you can it, you don't have to do anything. Like it's already there, established, like 20-year friendship, and yeah, I just they're all brilliant. Like the original people, there's not
I
really a
felt like
dud.
in watching this episode, this premiere episode, I felt like the scenes where when it's just the original, like Jennifer, Laurel, Kate, and Leisha, it's like it's
Yeah.
hilarious, it's funny, it's actually funny, not like fake funny the way they try to get Danny to be funny, but she's not. She's just really boring. Um,
No, it's like honestly, no, I could have been 16, 17 sitting there again. Like it does make you feel like no time has passed. And
yes, Tina, Sybil Shepherd, and Jane Lynch. That I love that. Yes.
oh, Jay, I'm in here. She's downstairs screaming. In a minute. Screaming at the food bowl.
Is that your dog? What
It's
is
my
that?
cat.
Oh, your cat.
My cat is the most popular member of the channel.
Did anybody see Pam Grier on Watch What Happens Live?
Oh yeah, yeah,
In the
yeah.
chat, I told you, I'm like, what do you know of Andy Cohen? I'm like, we have an emergency. Anybody in the chat, I was living for Pam Grier, and she gave Jennifer Beals a shout out and the L Word a shout out on Watch What Happens Live, a show I watch every night. That was exciting. Yeah, Max, we know. Doesn't need to be. We know.
Well, we're gonna know.
Oh boy. Oh boy, guys. Okay, what else? Oh, why? Okay, you can answer this. You would have an answer to this more than I would. Why did the cast not want to film in Vancouver?
The cast did. The cast did. It was so again because, as I said, Showtime wanted to move season 3 to Vancouver because it is so expensive to film in LA, and also this show has such a big cast. And also you have to think of people like Jennifer, Alicia, and Kate. Like
They're getting paid.
they're big stars and they're executive producers, but the cast is huge. Even like people like think of like Jillian Marcato and stuff. Like even though they're not main, like last season Jamie Clayton, she was in every episode, even though she wasn't a main. So and they have a lot of sets too. So it's super expensive. They had to build out Dana's because the semi-tropic was starting. I mean, they weren't like gonna stop them or anything, but when when they film, they have to shut down.
Can you answer the? I have a question because I don't live in LA, so I'm not. I don't know about this. So the semi-tropic is an actual restaurant bar.
It's in East LA, yeah.
Got it. And so they take that over.
Yeah, and when I was in there, because my like best friend from high school and college, I made her watch the L Word when we were like 16. So she's straight and has a kid, but she fucking loves it. She's coming to the finale watch party with me. And her mom then got into it and is obsessed with Bette, even though she's like married for like 50 years. So we went the day after I went to set. And of course, my friend was like, "Oh, we have an L Word fan, blah, blah, blah." And the guy was like, "Oh, yeah, he's chatting to us." And I said, "Oh, well, I was on the set yesterday. Like, so you don't have them come here anymore?" And he was like, "No, but can I tell you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "We don't really mind anymore because they just used to shut us down and we wouldn't get paid." So, but it is because where they are, like it used to be near where they used to film, but it's not anymore. The semi-tropic.
Where do they film now?
Now they film in Culver City at this. It's so weird. I was saying this in my video today. So the set is like this. It's massive, massive. I can show you I can't. Showtime still keep not giving me clearance to post this stuff because you can see what it's set up for in the finale. Dana's is set up for, and so I like filmed the whole time I was there. I had like a
Mm.
camera on me, and we're walking around, and like the set, it's like a huge big square, and then they have in the middle this building that has like the Alice show offices, the Alice show stage. It has all the characters. They call them the bungalows. It's like Bet's house and interior of everyone, Alice's house and all that. And then like you go out these doors, and that goes into a separate building where the interior of Dana's is. But you have to walk. Like, I mean, it took us like maybe 5 minutes to go to walk to the exterior, and you have to walk along. And so Dana's is here, and literally where Finley and Sophie are sitting in the first episode, 20-30 feet away is someone's house and an entire neighborhood. Like, it's just in the middle of a neighborhood. It's so weird. So they're all just in this thing all the time. But then when they go, shoot at like Shane's house, they have to pick up and move everything.
So the cast was okay with filming.
Oh yeah, yes. So the cast was. I mean, Jennifer lives in Canada, and Leisha and Kate, but the producers didn't want to. They wanted to stay in LA.
Okay.
Which, of course, Showtime's like, we're trying to help you, but
right.
I think if there is a season 4, they probably will move it to Vancouver. That's just my opinion.
Well, they were alluding in like the other week's episode of Pants that they're like, oh, it's going to be an even further drive. And one of them said like, yeah, we're going to have to get an apartment. So I couldn't understand like if they were talking about Vancouver or like someplace else in LA that would be even further.
I would assume so because, I mean, there's so many factors that are going into the show being renewed. Like, it's not only the fact Jennifer and Seppi aren't there, and like Laurel. When I say Jennifer, I mean like Laurel's obviously only going to be there if Jennifer is, and there's not only that. It's like the fact that the show is so, because when the show originally started, they didn't announce this or anything, but somebody told me that originally they did immediately go to series for two seasons.
Yep.
So they only had this renewal, and again, it was basically social media. And if they were going to be renewed, it would be up in the air anyway because of Jennifer and Seppi. But this Paramount deal like changes everything because it's not the guy.
And it is going to have a lot of social media. This one is inherently going to have a lot of social media. If they're ending with the wedding, it's built right in. Yeah. So they're not going to have to worry about that. It's more like, I don't know, like, where do we go from here? Is there even a future? And I don't think so, because they never did anything with the Gen Q was a flop.
Someone quite like senior told me this. I don't know. It's an absolute fact because again, I haven't actually seen the episode because Marja told me yesterday they've only just finished mixing episode 6. So, they haven't finished the finale or anything, but apparently the finale is written to be a finale, but they could always pick it up again.
Of course they could pick it up again.
Yeah.
If they were smart, they should write it as a finale. Yes, this person is correct. Pam, what you're saying, it never really had storylines. Well, they had some storylines. What they had was friendship. Yep. Fantastic casting, chemistry, and friendship. Yes.
That is, I think, a lot of the problem too. Like you can't attribute it all to them being in Vancouver together and stuff, but from what I've seen anyway, like it's for the cast anyway. I mean, everybody when I was on set said they like loved working on the show and stuff like that. But of course they're going to say that to me. but the cat, like, it seems more of a, this is my job, because they don't really like think about, I don't know, when I saw the episode yesterday and there was that scene of like Tess and Bet where they were like linking arms, I was thinking like, how many scenes have they had together? But that's probably more inherent for the fact that Jamie Clayton's like such a personality that, you know, she's friendly with everyone. But
yeah. Can I give a hot take on Jamie Clayton?
Yeah.
This would be my number one question for Marja. Well, among many, but if I'm being professional, this would be my number one question for Marja. Why did you not make Tess trans?
Yeah, I
Keep everything. That is an interesting storyline for Shane. Falling in love. Keep everything about Tess the same, whatever there is. But like, why isn't she trans? Instead of like shoehorning it in through this Micah character that nobody cares about. Like, why does it always have to be they only care about these female to male trans characters? Why not just do a male to female? That then this person is now like a lesbian. Now they're leading a lesbian. To me, that is a more interesting
yeah
story. And for anybody who didn't watch the Queer as Folk, go watch Queer as Folk on Peacock. This actress Jessie James Keitel is a male to female trans woman. This bitch is sexy. This woman is stunning. I feel to say she's probably like 28 years old or 30. I follow her on Instagram, and she was the star of that show.
No, I'm gonna check her out.
Trans playing trans. Like, I just, because Marsha's dumb.
The only thing that I don't know this for a fact, but from what I've heard, and even the way, like, when I never talk about anybody's personal stuff, like this is probably the most I've ever talked about people personally. I just don't do it. But I think that, I don't know, a lot of the like when I went to set, I would never ask anybody personal stuff, but that was like the only thing they said to me was no, like, personal, and I was like, no, of course not. But and hearing Jamie like on Pants and like other stuff that I've heard her on, I think that maybe it could have been, she could have been asked and she said no or something. I don't know. That's maybe the impression I would get, but it also, you know, it could have had nothing to do with her too.
People are saying Jamie Clayton requested Tess be cis.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that's what I would have thought.
They think, we don't know, but that would have been so much more interesting. Just for like for the sake of like Shane's, Tess is there in service of Shane's character. Tess doesn't live on her own. They're trying with the mother stuff, but Sense8. I love Jamie Clayton.
I love
Jamie Clayton.
She honestly, like, I love her.
I am very passionate about I'm very passionate about trans storylines, but I just think the L Word can't stick the landing on it. Yeah. What do you think? What stood out to you in that interview yesterday?
There was a tiny part of me was like, "Ooh, is something gonna go down?" Because it was just so it was so out of nowhere. So like for them to go to it just, I really thought that maybe they were gonna announce something or say something, but yeah, there was a lot of like reading between the lines on some stuff. And I know Jennifer Beals, like a lot of people, you know, again, still the people who do not believe me when I say she's leaving the show. Mm-hmm. Some people were like, oh, because she said what you said before about it's been the ride of a life and all that. And everybody's like, oh, she always speaks like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but she doesn't she doesn't do interviews normally. And she doesn't do L Word interviews. And she doesn't go to L Word events and say these things now as the season is starting and cry on stage. Like, so.
I thought the most interesting thing was how she gave Marja props for she coughed up a few nice things to say about Marja, how she like steer, and it was something I didn't even think about. I was like, yeah, actually that's true. Like she's like Marja was like a great leader, like through COVID. Like, yeah, I can't imagine having to do that.
And
You
they
know?
were in a real shitty position too because the writers went back as normal, and then it was like they did a bunch of scripts, and then it was like boom. And
Mhm.
I had just, my channel had only been up, I think, like maybe a month and a half. And when COVID started, and literally, you can go back. I never take stuff down because I stand by everything I say. And there's literally like a 6 month period of videos that's just me going, filming's been postponed again.
That's so funny. Yeah, anybody who's asking about that, if you just plug in YouTube, after this,
I
it's
can put the link, I think, in the.
can,
Oh, sorry.
how do we put links in the chat? Maybe I don't have the power to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the little you see where like the chat is in the studio? At
Yeah.
the very bottom, there should be a little thing with your picture saying post a comment.
No.
Oh.
Let me see.
Okay, to the right, do you see comments, banners, brands, private
No,
chat?
no.
Oh, that's weird. Um,
It's okay if
I'll,
not. It's
I'll
okay.
send you I'll put
It's
this
okay.
in the, that's like the YouTube link. So if you click it, you in another window, you can click there's like three
Oh,
buttons on the chat that says pop out the chat, and then you can keep it like
oh,
at the,
okay. Okay.
because I do that too because you can only do the polls through that. So
Oh,
it's
I see. I see. That's so funny. My microphone's like picking up the ad that's playing in the video. Yeah, so everybody go watch that later. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was interesting. I liked. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how. I mean, Kara Swisher really like moved it along. Like she's a good sense of humor and was like, like Eileen was saying how she
that's
never intended to
the
keep.
link, guys, to
Yeah,
the
she was.
interview.
Eileen was saying how she never, in the beginning, intended to keep Bette and Tina together. We know this. It was the fan demand that put them back together. Um, did you like it?
The interview?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I find their dynamic super interesting too. Like
Eileen and Jennifer
that would,
Beals.
yeah, that would probably be like my, I mean, probably Jennifer Beals, Eileen, and Laurel would be like my dream um, interview. But because I met Laurel in the summer, and her recognizing me was like the highlight of my year.
Love that.
So, but yeah, I do find, and as well, I would love to be a fly on the wall. I tell you that.
Brittany Mitchell, yes.
This is a good way to confirm things because they were. They
If
will
you-
look there.
Uh oh. Okay. Like I don't want to be annoying. Because people this is funny. Um somebody mentioned earlier in the chat if they're still working on, so there's this book called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Oh, I
This
love it.
book is a banger,
Yeah,
and I think they have the rights in some capacity.
they got rid of them. They had them and they got rid of them. Yeah,
Are you serious?
yeah, they sold it to Netflix, and now Netflix has it and they don't have it anymore. They had it through Freeform or whatever. Yeah, that's a new name, Freeform.
Okay, but are they still attached?
No, no, that's what I was really excited about because I love the book too. But maybe it was like,
Because
oh, I think
Jennifer
this
Beals could
happened.
have starred in that.
Oh yeah,
That would have gotten every L Word fan on board, like
yeah.
instantly. Another lesbian. Damn. Are you kidding? They get, I guess they got a lot of money.
It was like a year ago that they weren't attached anymore. And now Netflix are like, they're doing it so dirty. They're doing it in like a hour and a half movie or something when it should be a
Who
mini
is
series.
directing it, writing it? Do we know?
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think if they've announced it. Someone in the
Lainey,
chat will know.
yes. Does Showtime own the rights to Bette and Tina characters? Yes. This is a very interesting question. Who owns the rights to things? I know a bit about this because I had interviewed the two of the any queer, again going back to Queer as Folk. Emmett, I interviewed Peter Page, who played Emmett, and Scott Lowell, who played Ted. And this was before they rebooted.
Oh, okay.
Before they rebooted Queer or whatever, they reimagined Queer as Folk. I was like, I think it's so interesting. This was before Gen Q had been announced, but not on the air.
Okay.
And so it was happening. And I was like, why can't they reboot Queer as Folk? And Peter Page was explaining that because that started as a BBC show that was then sold to the US via like CBS Showtime, the chain of title on even the characters, the type, like all of that would have to untangle that. Somehow they untangled it because they got it on Peacock, which they fucked that up too, because with the marketing, and that was canceled. But I'm in touch with that showrunner, actually. I can ask some questions.
That's why they had to call it Gen Q because when they started, they didn't have.
So what, they didn't have the rights, but why? It was still under Showtime.
Because they had I think it was, remember when it was on Netflix and like there was some other stream, like you used to be able to stream it some other way, but it was literally like when they started production they didn't have the L word, but then I think it was either just before they went on air or just after, then it reverted back to them because remember it was on January, I think it was January, it booted back to them. So they do, like, it's not on anywhere but Showtime now.
Wow. Did you watch The Real L Word?
I tried to.
You should. Try again.
I did a video on it, like, not recent, but like maybe like 5 months ago. And I watched the first episode. I know who like most of the people are.
It gets better the second and third seasons.
Okay, I'll try the second then.
There's a lot of juice there. And you know what always I found interesting? You know what I always found interesting? When they were like going on their first speaking tours about Gen Q, the party line was, we went off the air in 2009 and nothing ever replaced it. And so
oh God, yeah, I was sick of hearing that.
Did no one ever hear of Orange is the New Black?
I know.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people were obsessed with Piper and Alex, including myself, who named my own dog Piper, who you all...
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love Piper and Alex too.
Yeah, but like things did replace it, but no, that wasn't a glossy lesbian show. We get like, and it wasn't...
It was in a fucking prison.
Where can you watch the L Word? The Showtime app.
Yeah, or it should be on Hulu through Showtime now too, or Stan. I tell, because a lot of people that come to my channel are not in the US, so there's always in my description box there's always a link to ExpressVPN, and it's like a discount that you get if you use that link. And the cheapest and best way to get it is to get the VPN, turn it to Australia, and get Stan, which is their service, and it comes out the same second it does in the US.
Wow.
And it's like $4 a month cheaper than Showtime. But it's still like watching it legally and all that.
Wow.
Oh, I thought something that I liked about the interview again. Whenever Eileen had to explain about Alice killing Jenny. I've told this story before on my channel, but I knew this assistant that basically was like, and she was gay too, and she was an assistant to like a bet porter, basically, like super hot, rich LA lesbian. And this is like back in like when the show was ending, and I was doing my master's. So I was 20, 21, 22, and she was working for this person, and she used to every year have this big group of friends that they would watch the premiere and the finale with Eileen, Janet, like all the cast. And basically, the year of the finale, literally, she said the cast were like, oh my god, we're so sorry. This is like so fucking awful. And then Lucy Lawless did an interview like not that long ago, and somebody asked her about the L word, and she was like, yeah, I really liked it, and everyone was really nice, but when I got there, they were all so depressed and angry because
That is hilarious.
and that even that Entertainment Weekly interview where they're all like, Kate's like, I don't want to talk about season 6.
That's hilarious.
Oh god.
Oh yes, I remember. This was recent. Lainey R just said mid-season Jennifer went to Eileen's ranch for a few days. I found the Instagram for this ranch. I swear to God, I think Eileen Chicken has like an Airbnb or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know where. Probably somewhere in California. And Jennifer stayed there. And then I clicked into it, and like this ranch is like following Eileen Chaikin. It's like it was so clear it was like Eileen, owned by Eileen Chaikin or like affiliated with her. Yeah, they're definitely working on. I mean, I'm really upset to hear this year late news of the 7 husbands of.
I
mean, I know I'm really late.
I was so excited for that because I loved the. I think I read the book like last summer, but yeah.
Wow. I think people are going to love episode 2. I'm telling you right now. I've seen it, guys. I've seen it, and it's great. It's funny. The OG scenes are great and funny, and Jennifer in particular is fantastic in it. It ends in a really good space. I'm very curious. You remember how we both sort of had the same like concept of like, oh, it would have been so interesting if they filled in the gaps of like what happened.
Yes.
We did a 1-minute little interstitial of that's a way to bring
Cold
back
opens.
characters. So I don't know, Cheryl. Ash knows, not me.
I'm like, especially my Patreons. I just told them everything.
Oh my god. What was it? Oh, okay. So this would be brilliant. I don't think they're smart enough to think of this. This would have been. If they did this, I'd be like, wow, maybe this was all worth it. So the title of the finale being Looking Ahead, if they made it a supersized episode, if they did the regular episode and then they tacked on an extra 20 minutes and did a flash forward, so we actually see who Alice winds up with, who Shane winds up with.
That would be great.
That Bette and Tina are still together, and like who Angie winds up with. How do you feel about she? Can I give a little spoiler here? This is
of course. Tell me whatever.
They show it in the they show it in the Angie like kisses a guy very briefly, so quick, like a quick thing. Are they gonna have? Do we have to watch Angie fucking dudes now? I can't handle that.
I am like concerned because in the original trailer, Angie throws the rock like through that car. If you match that car to the car where someone's doing like the Titanic hand imprint thing in the back, so I think it's Angie sleeping with the owner of that car, and I'm like, I mean. I don't really, that's the other thing. I don't really talk about personalized. I don't talk about the kids at all. Unless
I love gay Angie.
It's like they're moving, Bette and Tina are moving Angie into school. But I think maybe it's like the whole, like what Alice was saying about like Gen Z is more open.
Hi.
Whatever.
Oh, actually, that guy who played that, what was,
Oh, I think you've muted yourself. Yeah, did you do that on purpose?
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you did on purpose.
Sorry about that. That guy, I was like, why does he look so familiar? The guy who Alice, the Gen Z guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, this gay guy who's like clearly flamingly gay. I'm like, where do I know this guy from? And then I realized in watching it, I was like, oh, he was actually one of the leads on the new Queer as Folk.
Oh, he did look familiar.
Amazing. His name is Chris Renfro. He is so funny and brilliant and great on the new Queer as Folk. I encourage anybody to watch. It's very quick watch, 8 episodes of New Queer as Folk.
I think your audio's not coming through the mic since you came back from mute.
Oh.
Just sounds different.
Okay, let me go to settings.
They're all in the chat, they're like, Jess, come back every week.
okay, am I better now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, I would come back next week for sure to talk about the next big episode. Next week is very, very big.
Yeah, you have to come back next week.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
everyone should watch the new Queer as Folk. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I did. I remember it a little bit because I always do like a video every month of like mainly lesbian stuff that's coming out. But if it's something like that, I'll throw it in. So I remember talking about it briefly, but I haven't actually watched it. So I will.
Well, it's framed around a lesbian couple, like the trans woman, the one who I'm like literally in love with. Jesse James Keitel, it's her and her non-binary partner who have just had kids. This is the way Queer as Folk always begins. The US version, the British version, and now the reboot. It's always framed around a lesbian couple who has one of their best friends is the donor.
Oh, okay.
This is the way it always goes. And then like drama ensues. And
gotcha.
And Kim Cattrall.
Oh, yeah, she's in there.
And Kim Cattrall is fucking wild in this show.
I love her.
Is the Queer as Folk new? Yes, they reimagined it. It's on Peacock. Go to the Peacock app. You can get a free trial. And it's great. This Jesse James Keitel, you will be obsessed. And they're a lesbian couple. And Kim Cattrall can I give a spoiler? No one's gonna watch this. No one's gonna watch the Queer as Folk. I'm shouting it from the rooftops. No one's gonna watch. No one did. My favorite city is New Orleans. It takes place in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I love. And in like the end, there's a weird twist in the end. It's a very creative twist. And Kim Cattrall winds up she winds up like fucking the non-binary partner. Oh, it's crazy. Did anybody watch And Just Like That?
Oh,
Sex in the City.
I put myself through a couple of episodes.
No, listen to me. Kim Cattrall lives out Miranda's storyline in the new Queer as Folk. You will want to jump off the highest building.
Oh my god.
Yes, it was canceled, Virginia.
I literally I'm that person. I am Miss Positivity. I will look at I defend everything, and I could not defend that. Like, what the fuck were they doing in that show?
Can I tell you something hilarious? You're gonna love this. Everyone sit down. This is something just like that. Okay. Is everybody ready? Everybody sit down. I'm a little bit in like the I'm not a comedian, but I'm friends with a lot of comedians in New York. My friend the one who wrote the L Word, this is all going to tie back. The one who wrote the L Word Christmas Carol, she's putting it on. She goes, you're not going to believe this. A friend of mine is starting a new job, and it's to consult for the Che Diaz character.
No.
This was in August. It was a 2-week gig.
2 weeks.
To review all this. I'm sitting, Jess. So they had a consultant, and Carolyn also told me, this is my friend who wrote the Elwood Christmas Carol, how a friend of hers, actually, the Elwood Gen Q hired a different friend of hers to consult on the polyamory storyline, and she gave them all these notes, and they didn't take any of them.
That does not shock me. Oh god. Because this is the thing, like I'm not saying I'm some like professional or anything or like polyamory expert, but they have like every person on the show that I speak to, I know whether they're writers, producers, they're on the show, they all have told me, oh, we watch your videos, we watch your live, blah blah blah, and I'm like, but do you really? Because like, what are you hearing?
What? I mean,
every week I'm just like, all I really wanted is Bette and Tina and Gigi. Just like, get rid of Bette, get rid of Gigi, get rid of Tina.
It's crazy. Two friends of mine who host a podcast that is fantastic. My friend Damien and his best friend, and they're gay guy, gay girl, right? They host a podcast called "You Might Know Her From," that interviews character actresses.
Yes, my friend listens to it. She's mentioned it to me before.
They interview character actresses, and they interviewed Seppi before the Elwood Gen Q premiered, because they were looking at the cast and they were like, who can we find? Who can we find? And they're like, they're like, New York based actor. They went to her apartment in Brooklyn. She served them tea.
Oh my God.
And it was amazing. So go listen to the Seppi interview. And then they interviewed Laurel Holloman over Zoom, like, in the last year or so. So go find those interviews.
Oh, yeah.
They are amazing. Yes, they had a great interview with Laurel. Yes, it was a great interview.
Oh, that's awesome.
The name of the podcast, Rosanna, is You Might Know Her From. Yes, I've had them on a lot. Thank you, Tamara. Yeah, I've had them on a lot. We've talked about the Elwood extensively. We always...
So, did you prefer episode 1 or 2, you think?
Probably, I mean, I watched them back to back. Which one did I prefer? They both had, I mean, maybe 2. Yeah. 2 is more dramatic. Like, things are happening in 2. I mean, you get basically no Gigi.
Yeah, this is what, I mean... Yeah, apart from fucking whatever they're doing. But like this episode 1, she literally, they normally shoot 3 scenes in one day. So Gigi was in 2 scenes. So she was there for 1 day.
Yeah. And then probably one other day they have to do the car scene. And then she is in episode 3 because you see her with Nat.
Yeah.
I have a prediction. I wonder if you can confirm or deny. I am wondering if they jump ahead. How can Gigi go from being in the hospital from a car accident to now she's like out and like making life decisions?
I think they will only, so we know episode 1 is like August 2022, and they always are like all the time because Angie's going into college. And then Tina says no, they must be a few weeks down the road then, because Danny says she's going to do a show for Bette, which I'm assuming is the Marcus Allenwood one, but Tina also says she's going to Toronto tomorrow. So but why am I trying to make sense of the Elwood timeline? I've learned this mistake many, many times, but the big thing that comes back to me is they can't skip forward that much because episode 4 is Halloween.
Okay. So
the most they could skip, I guess, is like a month, or like maybe they do like 6 weeks or
I
something.
get that. I almost remember how one of the biggest complaints was about the timeline.
Oh yeah, that was that was me.
I wonder if part of the reason that they're suddenly doing holidays, like they never did holidays in the original L Word. That was never a thing. They never did holidays in Sex and the City either. I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. They never did holidays there either. But I wonder if it's a way to like, okay, now we can like timestamp things.
Yeah. When I was on set, when we were walking to Dana's, Jamie was just like asking me questions and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, like tell me some exciting stuff that's gonna happen."
Tell me some exciting stuff.
And of course, because Jamie was the only one who would tell me anything. Everybody else was like, "Spoilers, spoilers."
So
and
like,
Jamie
what did she say? Give us what'd she say?
Jamie would be like this. Okay, don't say anything. But anyway, just tell me whatever. But she was like, oh, well, we're going to have holiday episodes. And then they were like to her. And then she's like, oh, yeah, like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they have Halloween and Friends where they have Thanksgiving. I mean, we're not doing that, but like we're totally doing that. It's like, okay. But I mean, the way the L Word operates with timelines is that they have an episode take place normally over the course of a day or 2 days, and then it skips a week and then the next episode. And it's always a little bit in front of time. Like last year it aired in August, so it started episode 1 with April. But yeah, I mean, because they can skip that forward with Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, I think, is like episode. But the thing is, there's not that much time that they're working with, because when I was there for episodes 9 and 10, it's all it's like all set up in Dana's, but they still had like little like pumpkins and like Thanksgiving-y things out, and that was episode 9-10. So I'm assuming it's like just before Christmas, because I'm thinking the wedding is like a Christmas thing.
Wait, you're telling me Bette and Tina are getting back together, like going from kiss to wedding in a span of 3 months? That's insane. That is insane.
Maybe they'll skip another year.
They have to. It makes that even that would be ridiculous.
But I mean,
because think about it, it's called looking ahead. So they're either gonna like flash, they're either like flashing forward. Why are they bringing Donald Faison back? Like, are they really gonna like? Why are we having Alice date men? How is this helping us?
Okay, well, we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. There's no way that Showtime's going this far in. But like, so the wedding is in that the place that
the ranch.
The place, and with all like the tree lights and stuff. There's a video I have, like Bette and Tina are getting married, where I show it all if you want to go see.
That's so weird. They don't get mad that you post those pictures and say Bette and Tina to me, I would think that's the biggest, the one thing. Please don't share this.
Nobody says shit. Like,
that's so weird to me.
But this is where they shot themselves in the foot, because when I went to set, they were so like, don't say this, don't no spoilers, no. So they didn't tell me anything. I found this out from other places. So they've told me don't share the footage in Dana's, but it's like, okay, I won't share that. But yeah, I mean,
but what's so big in Dana? Like, what's happening in Dana's?
It's like before, so episode 9.
No,
like
I know, but like what
like
what
rehearsal, because it's all like
this isn't gonna make. I can't with weddings. But
the
they make me. They creep me out. They creep me out. Like, what are they gonna wear? It's like I'm getting nervous about the outfits. Like, things like this like make me nervous. Like, I don't want to see them in dresses. It's gonna freak me out.
But like, yeah, like I the only time that they've ever been like, where did you get this from? Was when the day the trailer was supposed to come out, they pushed the trailer back a day because of this. Was somebody sent me basically when you went into Amazon at midnight on California time, the day the trailer was supposed to come out, somebody had accidentally released a trailer that they had not approved that was like the chart all connecting. And Marja sent me a message asking about it because like I had been the one that obviously shared it, and because they I think they initially rejected that one because it was too like the original because it had the chart, and it's like everybody was saying that's what they liked about it, but
oh my God, that was a highlight from. First of all, your listeners are hilarious. Everyone is saying we all know Bette's going to be in a blazer. I am dying at just people know that I am like dying. Guys saying that. Something that I thought was hilarious, and you just brought it up. There was somebody said, "Remember our chart?" In the
fucking. I have a video on that.
I died at that. In the San Francisco thing from last night, Jennifer and Eileen, they were like, "Remember our chart?" Yeah, for some reason, real life people didn't want to put a list of who they slept with. Can you imagine?
I have a video about our chart and all of that, and literally in the video I put in like it's Jennifer and Eileen at like this business conference, like it's presenting our chart like to investors. It's on, the whole thing is on YouTube.
I need to see it. I need to see it. It's still on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh God.
So fucking
need
funny.
To see that. Oh wait. I know people who got the script for The Farm, and they did a lot. I think some of the Autostraddle girls got their hands on a script for The Farm, and they did a live reading of it.
I remember that. I went back, like, because I've always, I mean, I didn't talk about it this much, but I've always been like, loved the show. And when The Farm came out, I did see the pilot, and I somewhere in a hard drive somewhere, I'm sure I have it.
You saw the pilot for The Farm?
Yeah, because like someone I knew says, because I used to work like this is how I started my channel, because I knew like bits of like and stuff about filming, because what I used to work with like a lot of the cast of Buffy and stuff like that. And I actually did movies when I was younger with like Julie Andrews. Actress? Yeah. And that's how
child actress.
Yeah, like, but I wouldn't be, it's not like that wasn't like Macaulay Culkin or anything.
Wow.
My first movie was with Julie Andrews.
That's unbelievable.
Where I lived is like, well, I live there right now. It's like a tax haven, so lots of films used to get big breaks for coming here, and it always would like really help them if they could, have people here. But I knew some, like, it was through one of my like Buffy, because Jennifer Beals was like a huge Buffy fan. So there was I can't remember, someone's friend, a friend, but it had such a good cast. Like, it was like Laurie Metcalf and
so like how was it?
There was I honestly was
it a comedy or a drama?
It was like more comedy, like with Alice and the whole thing, but they had, because it was, the farm was like this wing in one of the prisons, and that's like the wing that Alice gets assigned to, and then there was like the jungle and like these other wings. But the thing is, Eileen originally used to say that Alice was going to, and this is the way the pilot played it, was that Alice was going to prison, but she didn't kill Jenny.
Justice for Jenny Schechter. I'm sorry, Mia Kirshner, maybe the best actress on the original show. If you really analyze it, you look at that season 4 and 5, comedy queen.
She's wild. She's wild.
Wait. Do you have strong feelings about Mia?
No, I think she's great. The I have heard that she's interesting to work with. But I think that a lot of people who are really talented that way
Yeah.
are that way. And somebody so a lot of people like there's again like I really hope they don't go this far, but a lot of people have been saying like, oh, I'd love to did I tell you this that Helena was supposed to be in season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
like
I don't know what happened.
yeah, that was like one that's probably the only video I put out of something that didn't end up being true, but she was actually supposed to be in it. She was supposed to be in the karaoke episode. And when she ended up not being able to come because of like COVID or whatever was happening, they still were going to use her voice to introduce Bet, Alice, and Shane on the karaoke stage, and it is still in the script as Helena Peabody like voiceover. But I mean, I also was, but this doesn't make sense that she would happen that would happen then, because lots of people, everybody knows that basically that Mia Kirshner was very upset by the decision about what they did to Jenny,
Right.
and like there's OGs coming back, but a lot of the ones that aren't coming back, it wasn't really even like offers weren't even really put out because there is like quite a we're with Mia sort of thing.
Got it.
I don't know if it's like official like lines drawn in the sand, but
Right. My dog's barking. Oh my god. I mean, should we pick this up next week?
oh yeah, yeah, if you, yeah, if you
Should we do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to blow my load here. Okay, somebody wrote the funniest thing. I'm sorry, my dog is barking. I have to go feed her. No, this is hilarious. Somebody in the chat wrote, James is still in therapy. Can I tell everybody? James, low key, one of my favorite characters on the original L Word.
Oh yeah, I
James,
do.
I was like into James. I loved him. Justice for James. Bring him back.
I know. I would have loved. He's married to Julia Stiles. Yeah, in real life. He worked on Deadpool, the movie.
Wow, I want to see James. Yeah, this is my number one question. How are they going to make this? It would be so inauthentic for like, what are they going to have Micah sitting there at a chair at the Bette and Tina?
I had that exact thought today.
What'd you say?
I had that exact thought today about how are they going to have the finale, because
like, can't they make this at least realistic that like, okay, maybe all the little Gen Qers don't have to be there.
I mean, that a lot of them did rap very early, but there's no way it was early enough to not be in the
bringing James as a wedding planner. Yeah, but yeah, they should actually spring for Jane. I hope they try to get like Jane Lynch and Sybil Shepherd. Like that would
be amazing. That would be amazing.
Or even Holland Taylor. That would be brilliant.
This is the thing, though. I feel like there's so many people. Like, obviously, I don't know fucking Holland Taylor and Sarah Paulson, but I just feel because it's the L Word, if you said to any lesbian, no matter if they are fucking Sarah Paulson, who's like Hollywood, and like
they'd say yes,
she would say fucking yes. She did that other play with like that one. I can't remember who did it, but it was like some in between the L Word and Gen Q, and it was like Kate and Leisha were in it, and like other people, and Sarah Paulson. I think she played Shane or something, or Bette or something in one of these plays with them. But of course she would do it. Kristen Stewart was in like one of those bloody little HBO shows just because it was a little bit gay. Like they would all do that.
You know what? Did you watch A League of Their Own?
Yeah.
Okay, loved it. I always found it interesting how in all these interviews, Abby Jacobson is saying, she's like, I didn't know I was gay until I was 32. Abby Jacobson is not that much younger than me. I'm 40. Abby Jacobson's like 38 at this point. She acts like the L word did not exist. She's like,
I'm younger than her.
She's like, there was just willing. She's like, there was just Will and Grace. She goes, I had nothing to relate to. There was just Will and Grace. And I remember she's like, and I wasn't Will. So like, I didn't know. And it's like, she's like, if I had this show, meaning A League of Their Own, it's like, so you're telling me you never heard of the L word and you never watched Orange is the New Black and you couldn't figure it out between those two shows?
Weird.
Like, what planet? Like, I've been trying to get an interview with Abby Jacobson because I'm dying to say, like, you really haven't watched the L word or heard of it. Like, that's an impossibility. We're living in New York. Everyone's gay.
And also, like, I literally right now live on a tiny tax haven. And I was at a meeting the other day, and everybody like knows that they call this Ash's show because they don't know really they know that it's a show and like Jennifer Beals is in it. But I had this meeting and we were talking and I was like, oh, just so, because I have like my own business. So I was like, oh, just so you know, like I've blocked off like the 18th to the 25th because I'm in LA because the show's finishing, like as if I'm there a part of it. And she was like, oh, like I've never asked you what show is it? And I was like, the L word. And she was like, the L word? And I was like, yeah, it's like a lesbian like Sex in the City thing. And she's like, the fucking L word. I love the fucking L word. And she's married to a man. She's like, oh, I'm like really bi, but I don't ever like tell people in the fucking middle of Starbucks. It's just telling
love that.
And like, she's from Nigeria and lives on this tiny island with me. And she's young. She's like 20, 21. And
that's amazing.
The only other person I've found here that watches it is my therapist. I can't be friends with her.
Oh my God. Wow. I'll leave you with this. So a bunch of people were asking what it was like to interview the OGs. Yes, I interviewed both Jennifer and Laurel for Autostraddle back in 2010. Both were amazing experiences. Both of those interviews are still online. If you just Google Autostraddle Laurel Holloman, Autostraddle Jennifer Beals, they pop right up. So you can read the interviews. This was before the days of Zoom. Like I was on the phone and I was using an audio recorder. I will say Laurel is just a lot more loquacious. Like she's a lot more verbose and she's chatty. She's
she's a sweetheart.
She's chatty. She'll go on and on with you. And you can see that in the interview. And Jennifer Beals was very, the Guinevere Turner. Oh, I could talk for hours. Okay. The Jennifer Beals was more just like answering the questions. I did get because I was rereading some of those interviews and I did pick out like, oh, I forgot that they were like going to do an L Word movie because I'm asking about the L Word movie in that. And I asked about something else and I was like, oh, that was a really good question. Like something random that I asked.
If you guys read them, then come with questions for Jess next week.
Yeah, come with questions because I asked something to Jennifer Beals and she gave a really good answer. You haven't even told the Guinevere Turner. We're going to make an agenda for next week. I'm going to talk all about Guinevere Turner. I am fully in love with Guinevere Turner. We did it live here in my apartment. Yeah, Guinevere Turner mentioned it all. Actually, when my friend messaged Guinevere to come play Jenny, she absolutely said she would have done it. She's going to be out of the country. So that like broke my heart. But she replied with, why does it have to be Jenny? She goes, we all wanted it. We wanted to write Jenny off the show, but Eileen wasn't having it. She goes, after season 1. So I got that little bit of tea late last night at 9 p.m. from my friend. Like we are in the thick of it with Guinevere Turner, guys. We got boots on the ground.
You know who I bet also was a vote to keep Jenny? Old Easy Girl.
Can we talk about how bad the music is in Gen Q? There is jarring music, particularly I mean, I guess I
Tell
can.
them.
We're so deep in. All right, listen, guys, I had to gird my loins. I was like, I had to sit down and take a moment because there is a Bette and Tina sex scene in episode 2. And I didn't know if I'd be able to handle it. Listen, I don't know that I need to see these people have sex anymore. Like, it's a lot. I don't know. But it was good. It's okay. We're all gonna get through it. I mean, I guess a lot of people are like, we want to see this, but like, there's some things I don't know. But
Showtime's
the
like,
sex scene is
stop
literally
him,
the
stop
opener
him.
of the episode. It's the first. You're getting it right away. It picks up exactly from when Andy. Somebody wrote slay. Yes. It happens immediately. Okay, so don't miss the first 3 minutes because like we're boom right into Bette and Tina sex.
Oh my god! Showtime's like, cancel them, pull them, pull the cord.
The episode's early. It's fine.
Oh god!
So that's that. I'll answer. Come with questions. I mean, they asked a lot of questions, but I can go deeper on. Oh boy! All right, I think we said it all. This is going to be one long week. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back next
Sex
week.
over 50 is still a ton of fun. I hope so. Listen, if anybody's single, I'm single.
I'm single too.
If anybody has anybody for me, I live in New York City. In the village. I'm here.
So next week we'll have like just watched Gloria, I'm gonna kill you. Just watch the episode fresh too. So
the music is so bad during the Bette and Tina sex scene, and the music is so bad at the end of this. I'm trying to remember. Was the music bad when they kissed?
I mean,
was it jarring?
I have the music list here, but it goes straight into that what the fuck.
Yeah, I hated that.
I have to.
That was so unnecessary. That music at the end, I didn't like that.
Chris sent me the
Here, wait. I'm going to show you guys something else. I have to put the microphone down, but it's been sitting next to me this whole live because I want to share this with you guys.
Oh, hi.
And next week I can tell the story of how I managed to accomplish this. All right, hang on.
What do we got here? Can you see oh my god! That's amazing.
This is signed by everybody, including like everybody. And it took me probably a year or so to get to meet everybody. This was, back in the day. And I've had it in every apartment I've ever lived in.
Oh my god, I love it.
Since like 2006, I've had it in every apartment I've ever lived in.
I have like pretty much everyone except Jennifer Beals.
I got Jennifer Beals. She was going into when Jon Stewart used to host The Daily Show. She was going into Jon Stewart. Living in New York makes it easy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, next week is gonna be.
Next week is a banger, guys.
Yeah, and we'll let it all out.
All right, this has been so fun. I love you, Ash. This is a blast.
I love you too. So when I come off, we'll still be in like the little thing. So we'll see you next week. Don't forget, go and listen to Jess's podcast, Hot Takes and Deep Dives.
Yeah, I interviewed Rosie. Like I interviewed Rosie, and that was when Rosie spoke way out of like turn, and so I had all this tea on her. So I have her talking about the L word. I've interviewed a lot of people that I think you guys would be interested in.
Yeah, definitely go.
There's a lot of lesbian shit on Hot Takes and Deep Dives.
And yeah, we'll see you next week. Gird those loins. Bye, guys.